love with vids were able on the first and then on the second. On the third, I got about a metre off the ground and in the air.
When you try to go there, what's the else trying to say? Well, that was not that down the road. Something wonderful. That was long, man. I can fucking beer run, but beer run. Yeah. I smoked a weed once. Off my parents'
Saturday night or something, the fruit guys. It was like, yo, there's a whole
went out for this guy, and his buddy was in the back. So that guy probably he just had this little Swiss Army knife. You never know Swiss Army knife. Whatever I
Oh, there we are. Right. There we go. We got Matt. We got Bert.
Hey, Big Bert. How's it going?
Big Bert. He's just heading out. So he said, sorry, have a great show. But yeah, they'll watch it later. It's because it's so early over here in the morning. I don't expect too many Aussies to be on just yet. Anyway, I'd like to welcome Pal. It's been a while. We're trying to organise this for getting.
It's been a while. We finally got our time right.
Yeah, it's so hard because like 16 hours ahead and in different days, and then you throw in daylight saving as well, and it throws it out an hour. Also, it's a bit hard to try and keep track. But then got a husband there, Andy, and RVing around the country and living life and being free. That's what we all dream about, but you guys are actually doing it.
It's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, exactly. Well, like I said before we came on, like the Sturgis area and all the rides, Needles Highway and Rushmore and all that, it's definitely on my bucket list. It's the main, in Deadwood I'd like to see, like just that area of America. But that's just one part. Like you guys have got a big country, bigger than ours, and it takes us 3 days to get across over the west side, and it's this big island.
It takes two days to get out of Texas. if you're in one end of it.
Literally,
Well, there you go.
Took
So
2 days to get out of that state.
yeah, I think if you actually probably looked at the map, it's probably the same size as Australia. So and that's just one state. You got 52 of them.
Yeah, we traveling all over. I'll tell you what's amazing is how much empty space there still is. It's pretty wild.
That's it. A lot of people forget that. Like it's all right going to the towns and everything, but then shooting on the highways and like you said, the open space. Like it's a big country. Like even here. Here's Tolson. He's popped in. Good on you, brother. Nice to see you. And like
Hey,
both
Daryl.
you and them like trekking around. And are they up north? Like are they up sort of? Excuse me for saying like up in Yankee territory. I know you got your north and your south. I don't know how it works there.
You mean is that where they're from or?
Yeah, where they're from.
Where they're from? No, Georgia's down south. Just above Florida.
Okay.
Just above Florida.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Florida, Miami, Florida. It's out the west coast. Is that right?
Yeah, I wouldn't classify Daryl or Clay as Yankee.
No, no, that's why I said excuse me for saying that because honestly, I'm guessing it's just going on the accent. Like it's sort of over here in Australia, like that's how they did the sort of the accents on TV. You know, like the the Yankees sort of
Yep.
had their style of accent, and then you had your Southerners, which was a more sort of a redneck style, and it's just how they showed what the Americans like over there, North and South, and everything, and all that type of stuff. So, like I said, excuse me
There's
for
a lot
saying
of-
that. It's just
A lot of accents here in all over the country.
Oh, exactly right. And then, like you said, over in Texas, and then down south, and then up north, the accents are all there. Australia, we don't have an accent, so.
Not when you're home.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Anyway, it's awesome.
Where
Great
were
to
we
see him.
when somebody said, "You guys have an accent"? It's like,
Yeah.
I've had it a couple times. New York. I was in New York.
yeah.
And you know they said, "Wow, your accent is so strong," and the other thing they said is you talk really slow, which is funny because we really don't. But if you've been to New York or watched New Yorkers talk really
You
fast.
see it on telly, like over there in like I said, in New York and in the Apple, that they're flat out there all the time, and it's like this. Here in Australia, we're pretty slow and casual. Yourselves are going, what are they saying? It's too quick. Slow down, mate. Take a breath. Because as you're down under down here, it's just like, yeah, how's it going? It's just like we've got our own sort of lingo and the slang, and like, it takes a bit for everyone to work out what we're saying. We can be sort of sarcastic at times, and then it just leaves people in the lurch, and they don't know, is that a joke or are you having a go at me or things like that. Awesome. Anyway, we'll start these questions, get it all started, and I'd like to thank Belle anyway for agreeing to do this. And like it's been a while trying to get this happening. And all right, here's the first question. It's pretty simple. I just asked 13 questions, and it gets to know the person and the vlogger and everything. This first one's pretty easy. It's like, what inspired you to do your YouTube channel, and what's your favorite thing about YouTube?
What inspired me? Gosh, it's been so long. I don't remember.
It's not a test, by the way, either. It's just it's just questions to know the person and
I've been doing YouTube for quite some time, and I want to. The memory that keeps coming back is like Dirty D's and who else? There was somebody else.
Motorcycle Mama and all that. D's.
Mary.
Yeah, Mary, Kid Raven.
Raven. And they were so nice, and the community was so welcoming, and you could just talk about motorcycles, and other people get it, and like from our family, our immediate family, they ride, like my sister, my brother-in-law, my brother, we grew up riding, so we could talk about motorcycles. But regular friends who don't, I have a girlfriend who's a trauma nurse, and she just about strangled me because I got a motorcycle. Because do you know what those things do to you? It's like, yeah, I know, but I wear a helmet.
And that's only if you ride out of your boundaries as well. So you got to be realistic to yourself on them, because they are not dangerous, but fun.
And so my favorite thing about the YouTube is the community and the people that you meet. I mean, that's how I met Daryl and Clay, is through YouTube. And now, I love them. They're like family. So
yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, I like watching their channel. And because being RVs like yourselves is on the road and you're filming all the time, and you got your time to do your editing, but also showing the country. That's the whole reason why I started mine, is because like left the AMC, the motorcycle club, and I watched Adam Sandoval's video when he was doing the 100 shops, Harley shops. I watched one and I watched the other, and geez, that's a nice plane. I just thought, here he is showing the US. Like, I'm sitting in my lounge room looking at the US on YouTube, and I thought, I've got a GoPro there. I might try and start that and show you guys Australia a bit. And that's how I sort of started mine, and it was all, he inspired me to get it all sorted. Here we go.
Clicky says hi.
Yeah. He does too. Yep. Hi, guys. Hey, Taylor. We love you, Bill. Hi, Smitty. How's it going? Thanks for popping in. We only just started, so it's all good. The first question. But yeah, that's the reason I started too. And then, like I said before, the only reason I joined another organisation riding is because I wasn't riding enough myself. Because Mrs. Smitty's got osteo and arthritis in her fingers. We were going to buy her a bike, but we ended up buying the 4-wheel drive because the COVID hit, and now we've just been bush camping and fishing and doing all the fun stuff. That's why I started mine. Cool. That's great. The next one's just as easy. Like I said, it's not a test. It's just to find out what we're all about. And this one is, when did you learn to ride a moto?
I was about 8.5, 9 years old, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
My dad brought home a little motorcycle, but I was too small to ride it. And I threw myself a hissy fit because I couldn't ride. And then he made a promise to me and said, yeah. So he promised me that when I could touch, that I could ride it also. And the next year, when I turned 9, I was able to touch. And when did you start?
Depends on whether you're talking about legally or not. I probably started about 14. Then that was my main mode of transportation for about 3-4 years when I was a kid. Because you could get a motorcycle license or a permit earlier in California. So that's all I rode for at least 3 years. Rain, shine, didn't matter. That's how I got to and from everywhere.
Exactly right. It's different when it's your one mode of transport. You just got to get on and go. It's like here in Australia, I think 15 and 9 months you could get your bike license or your car. 15 and 9 months, or 16 and 9 months, and your car license when you turn 16, you get your L's, and then a bike was 6 months later. And I like the fact that I've been riding since I was 6, like Belle herself is growing up around bikes and brothers. And then as soon as you got your bike license, there's instant freedom. You didn't have to have a bloke beside you telling you what to do and how to drive. So you already knew how to ride. Yep. And
that was it too. I could go anywhere I wanted to go, and I didn't have to have anybody with me or whatever. So and it's people talk about riding in inclement weather, and I go, well, I'm not going to go out when it's pouring and ride. Yeah. But if I'm out when I'm riding and it's pouring, okay, no big deal. It is what it is.
Just like in that the Beartooth Pass, when we made our way home, it started raining pretty good. So we outran it for the most part, but if we hung out a little bit longer, we were going to get rained on.
Yeah. That's like the 100-mile ride that Backer did. We put on in May. It pissed down all weekend. And I had to ride 2 hours down there to get there. Lucky it wasn't too bad on the way down. But then when we had the ride on the Saturday, it rained all day. And then I finished at 2, and then I rode all the way home, and I raced the rain all the way home, and parked the bike and went straight into the shower to warm up. You know how it is. Like when you're riding home, it's completely different when you get stuck in it. So when you actually got to prepare yourself and go. Nah, 100%. That's awesome. But when it's your main transport, you do what you got to do and to get around. But the whole freedom thing, that's what I enjoyed about it. Once you had your license and do what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, I would just take off, and we did it in cars too. But I would just take off for I'm just going to ride to Reno, like 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
And for no reason other than just to get on the bike and go. And and just like you said, get that freedom, especially when you're young. It's the same now, whenever we get on the bikes, you just feel an immediate sense of freedom as soon as you start riding.
Yeah.
That's it. We're all still young in the mind, but our bodies are having a hard time catching up.
Yeah, exactly. They're pretty much playing catch up from the time you get out of bed.
Exactly right. That never used to creak when I got out before, but anyway.
Oh, I got a lot of creaks.
Haven't we all, I tell you. All right. The third one's pretty easy too, because what other hobbies do you have not bike related? It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, not bike related. Besides your YouTube editing.
Editing?
I don't know if that's a hobby. That seems to be more like an avocation right now.
Right. I'm writing a book. Actually, I'm writing 3. But I'm concentrating on one, trying to get it done. That's not really a hobby, though.
Writing's a hobby. Some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, RVing. Camping is camp much. Oh, obviously being an RV, but
we full-time camp.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I would say for both of us nowadays, the hobbies and life kind of are all mixed together.
Yeah. I mean, we just have fun whatever we're doing.
We work on either I or we work on the RV. A lot of the times we ride our bikes.
I like to tinker.
We polish and
on the bikes.
Play with the bikes.
Yeah.
So it all kind of just mingles together nowadays. I mean, when we get stationary down the road, but if we were stationary now like we were before, there would be more things because we'd have a shop and some stationary place. So it would probably be in the tinkering realm.
Right.
Building things, rebuilding things, restoring cars, bikes, etc. So we kind of are in the same mode as far as the hobby aspect goes.
Yeah,
I'm kind of lucky that way.
Yeah, exactly right. If you and your partner and your lifelong friend and whatnot have the same interests, which is the whole reason why you sort of hook up and get together, it's a fun life. You just do what you want to do, and hobbies and everything else, and all just like I said, blends into one. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Two things that we both want to. I've done both, and she's done one. One is fishing. We want to get back into doing some fishing because we haven't really done much we haven't done any in our. Oh, we went offshore fishing in Mexico one time.
That was just an excursion.
But that was just an excursion. So we want to get back into fishing to some degree. Never fly fished, and my dad left me a bunch of fly fishing stuff. So if we. But I think we're going to take lessons for that one because fly fishing is really hard.
I would like to learn how to tie flies.
Yeah, it's an art too. Yeah,
it's definitely an art.
You're going to need those glasses.
Big glasses.
Right.
With the little flip ups.
Look like radar off MASH with the glasses on.
And then somebody wants to learn how to golf as well.
Yes, I would totally love to learn how to golf. Flip says,
Hey, Flip, how you doing?
That takes a long time.
Well, if you want to be halfway decent, it probably takes your lifetime. But if you just want to go out and have fun, you just got to learn some of the basic stuff.
I think of it as a new drinking game. And, I'm really good at drinking, just sitting here drinking. Yeah. So I think having a sport and drinking at the same time would be fun.
Us Aussies do that all the time. Like you got lawn bowls, and you can drink either end with the lawn bowls, and then when you play golf, you have a esky in the cart, and whoosh, you hit it, and then you jump in the cart and drink on the way to the ball. And I see what you mean about the golf. That can be very drunk worthy. Actually, at work we have a golf day. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. I call it a work meeting get together, and they shut the factory for a day, and the boss shouts us all for dinner at lunch, and we go golfing in the morning. And in a small town like Taree, a country town, and we actually got a name for ourselves. And it got to the stage where the OH&S sort of slowed everything down, and we had to change the light beers and behave a bit better.
Aw.
But it gets really fun, like drinking and whatnot.
Well, that sucks, Flip.
Yeah. Mate, it's hard to get vlogs out there at the moment too, especially here in Australia, because the weather's shithouse and it's too wet to ride anywhere, and you're just looking for content to do. And me, I got heaps of content, I just haven't got the time to edit it. And when it is good, you want to get out and about and do stuff, and instead of wasting your time on the computer editing. But that's what we have to do. Yeah, the next one. I don't know if you got a drone, but it is a drone one. But I got a second half of the questions for the people that don't have drones, and it's the drone question part is what's your worst drone experience you've encountered, and then part B is favorite bands you've seen live. Oh, it dropped out. No, that's no good. Okay, guys, we're having issues. We'll see if they pop back in. We're only up to question. Yeah, they are.
Our internet went on us.
Back again.
We had to change our Wi-Fi to.
It's all good.
Mrs. Peaches is here.
Beaches. Yeah, echo. That's funny. When I first was joining lives, I'd join and my YouTube was still open and it just echo all the time. So it's been a plug for a while. Everyone calls me Smitty Echoes because at the time I didn't know what was going on, so it always echoed.
Did you see that question?
This one?
Yes.
What's the worst drone experience you've had? Oh, that's crashing mine shortly after I got it.
Hey, mine exactly did the same. I pushed the one finger launch button and it fucked off on me. It just went gone.
So far, most of the people I've talked to, if you bought one, you've crashed it fairly soon. Sometimes catastrophic, sometimes not.
So I got it for him for Christmas one year, and on January 1st, for the first time, it crashed.
We were actually doing an intro for her because I've been out playing with it. We were on property that had a lot of trees. Yeah. And so she says, well, I want to do that thing where it spirals away from me. Okay, cool. So I set it. Well, the meters versus, imperial versus metric. I set it for 30 meters, not 30 feet. I thought it was going to do. So it takes off. She's like, you're in the shot. Get underneath the eaves of the garage so you're out of the shot. Well, I can't see it now. And it goes whack right
into the tree, which that's not what killed it. What killed it was
me trying to get it
down. And I'm trying to catch it with the big tarp, and I missed it, and it smacked right into the side of the tree.
Because it went 60 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet up the tree, short of throwing a rock at it, and then it came down and went on a rock.
So our favorite band that we've seen live. Okay, so I have two. The first one is Alan Jackson, and part of that was because I love his music. It's old school country, and then the other part is he's just a cool dude. We took his dad and my mom and dad, and at the time they were probably in their 70s, so they're elderly, and my son was 18 months old, and he's all dressed up with a cowboy hat on and Wranglers and boots and all the whole nine, and we had lower seats, like right up close, and everybody wanted to stand, and Alan Jackson got on the microphone and in between songs and asked for people to sit down so that the elderly people could see the show. And I just thought it was super cool. He was super nice about it. And then the other one is Garth Brooks. And that was back before he retired. And he just put on a great show. Very, very energetic. So
Who was that one?
What is yours? What was the question? What was that?
Who was that last singer, last band?
Garth Brooks. He's also a country
Brooks.
singer. Super popular in the
not a very well known guy at all. He's pretty chill, low key. He only plays small clubs.
I know Alan Jackson and you Garth Brooks. I just didn't hear you say it before.
No, I'm the same. I mean, I think that's we haven't been to, other than just the local concert things of smaller bands and things. We haven't really been to a big concert in a long, long time.
Right. So when we're here during the rally, I have a couple that I really want to see, and one of them I've been wanting to see for a really long time because he's a local guy from. He's from the Dixon area.
Dixon?
Yeah, Dixon.
He's from about 45 miles from where we used to live.
And that's John Party, and he's just
super popular too.
Great, great music.
Right after the dance. The Flip's talking about his songs from Garth Brooks.
Oh yes, those are some good songs. And who else did I want to see? Oh, Leonard Skinner. They're supposed to be here this year.
Yeah, it's funny. So we're bouncing all over the country again this year, and I've been on the interwebs. They're trying to figure out where we're going to be close to certain people. Like Kenny Chesney, I would love to see, and the dude is like in the wrong place all the time.
All the freaking
Everywhere
time.
we're at, he's not, or he's there after we go there.
You can't sync up with him.
And there's a couple of others, and then
and then the motorcycle racing, the baggers racings we missed. We were supposed to go a couple years ago when the whole stupid COVID thing was going on, so we had to cancel.
It was the inaugural baggers race, King of the Baggers. Have you've seen that one, huh? On the moto. We were supposed to go to the inaugural race in Monterey, and COVID was going on, and they said, well, you can come down, but you have to pretty much stay at your camper.
Peaches, have a great night or morning, I guess.
That's about it. And that's not why you go to races.
No.
You go to races to go to the paddocks and see the bikes and talk to the people, and we bagged out. Turned out it was an awesome race.
Yeah. And then NASCAR, wherever we go, we always try to find the race.
We're missing pretty much all of them. Everywhere we're at, they've already been, or they're not going to be there for months. So,
there was a show that I was going to get tickets for the four of us, for the Tollisons and us, and it ended up being like $1,000. I'm like, I'm not spending $1,000. Sorry.
Yeah, the price gets up there too, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know about in Australia, but here, the price of tickets is through the roof for anybody that's even.
It's bad here. Like, especially international guests that come over, they just put a tax on top of it, and it's up in the hundreds. Like it's and like you're saying, like you only get tickets if you can afford them, and 9 times out of 10, you can't afford them, so you just you don't go. But because
the other thing I found here is that if you start looking 2 months ahead of time, you're too late.
Right.
You got to start like whenever they post tickets. Otherwise, you might find one here and one there, or two, where you got a pole in front of you or something, because they just sell out so fast. That's
like I think I heard on the radio the other day that the Chili Peppers are coming out.
Oh yeah,
next year. So I think the tickets go on sale on Monday. And that'll be gone in an hour.
You got to be like right there and be really fast on the keyboard. That would be a great group to see. I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're good.
Oh yeah, I love awesome. Them.
Yeah, I'd like to see them. It's Flea's crazy, and Tony is awesome front man. Yeah, they'd be good, awesome live. I actually seen them on telly on Fox when they had Woodstock '99, and they had played live in Woodstock. It it was an awesome show, and the crowd just went Burko when they come out, and as they do, great entertainers.
Playing around, we're kind of.
That's it. It's all good.
Parts of me are disappearing.
Hey,
Yeah.
person that can disappear. Maybe it'll make me look skinnier.
Yeah, but it's my shoulder. It's supposed to be below the table.
And your shoulder. Bit scattered.
I missed
All right.
the first part of that one.
Oh shoot! Here it comes. Tell us something.
The next question is one of my favorites. Is tell us something mischievous about yourself that your oldies don't know about.
Oh. Oldies meaning like your mom and dad?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, my dad passed away after my mom, and before he passed away, I pretty much spilled my guts because we hung out with each other all the time. I had a construction company and traveled all over California to go to different job sites to check on them, and we had a lot of time together so that we could talk. And so I spilled my guts to my dad about everything. But for you guys that don't know,
Yes.
when I was 14, I stole his truck.
All right.
Borrowed. I brought it back, so I guess it is borrow. But it had a cab over camper on it. And we lived way out in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, so me and my girlfriend, we took my dad's truck without asking. That was the first time, and the second time I took my mom's car when I was 14 as well. That car was fun to drive. How about you?
Oh.
There was
No,
I'm
I'm trying to calculate statute of limitations on some of this stuff. Oh, I don't know. I think probably for us it was really the same thing. My sister and I are about 3 years apart, and we used to do the same thing. We used to take my mom's car. My mom worked graveyard, or I guess at that time she was working swing shift, but she would be asleep by as soon as she got home, she was so tired. And after about an hour, we'd go pile in the car, and we'd just go joyriding all over town. and we pretty much did it every night. Every night we could afford to put gas back in it, so she didn't notice.
Yeah, exactly right.
And we never crashed it or did anything bad either.
I didn't crash my dad's truck, but when I backed it in to where he had it parked, we had a covered porch, and I bunked into it and dented the aluminum stud that was holding the porch up, and kind of put a little dent in it.
In law enforcement, we call that a crash.
Yeah. And that's neg driving too, isn't it? Negligent driving.
Still call it a crash. It's like an airplane. They call it a hard landing when it comes down and smacks into the ground. I'm pretty sure the FAA here calls that a crash.
Yeah. Even if the wheels are out or not. Yeah, exactly right. And you still get a neg driving charge for that, Bell, eh?
Right.
It's a good one, that one. It just gets to know people and what their fun childhood and growing up. The next one's pretty easy too. What's your most favourite sport you may have played or watch on telly?
Or watch on the telly. Okay, so to play, I was in track and did high jump and long jump.
Mm-hmm.
So that would high jump was my favorite. I wasn't very as fast as I wanted to be in track, but I could jump really high. And then watching it it used to be football before they got stupid.
Before they got stupid.
Yeah.
New rules. Is that because too many head knocks or something?
You know what? They could just kiss my ass about the whole kneeling thing. know, whatever.
Well, and I've always liked playing baseball, but what we talked about earlier, watching on the telly, I watched the international sevens.
Yeah.
Pretty regularly, as often as I can catch it on,
Mhm.
the Fox Sports 1 or wherever they play it on.
Yeah.
We actually we didn't get to see the international sevens when we were in Vegas, but that's born out of my son playing and enjoying watching them play.
Yeah.
I love
and
watching him play.
learning the rules, because once you learn the rules,
right.
Now
It's easy to
you know how to
follow.
root, because you know what's good and what's bad, and
Exactly
it's-
right. And
it's
rugby,
something-
to be honest, too, that does take a fair bit to learn. Like even over here in Australia, rugby's quite regular around the joint, and then you got your rugby league. But it does take, because we're used to the rugby league rules, the rugby's completely different. Like your ball's in play and your ruck and then your line up and things like that. You got to sort of learn that you keep the ball in plays, you can keep going. Whereas in rugby league, you got 6 tackles and then you got to kick the ball and
right.
it's their turn with the ball. So it's two completely different games but similar. Yeah, exactly right.
Right.
I loved
right.
watching sevens. 15.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so slow.
Yeah.
At least here in the States.
Well, and I think it's rugby league that I
Yeah.
watched on some of the sports networks on the dish, and the whole line is huge.
yeah.
It's like a whole line of forwards in 15s, regular
Yeah.
rugby. Whereas your some of your backs and your wings, the wings are not as big. In rugby league, if I'm not mistaken, they're all huge.
Yeah.
guys.
Because my favourite team obviously is the Sharks, and then their wingers and their 5'8" and all that, they're like 6 foot, and then you then you got your forwards and everything else. They're just monsters, and you just don't want to tackle. But
I love watching rugby, especially now that I understand it better than I did before.
Yeah.
But my son got me into watching sevens because.
So you guys in the side chat, I showed this picture to Smitty earlier. The guy in the red, that's our kid. He was looking at this other boy here, like, one more step, I'm gonna put you down, and he took one more step, and he stiff-armed him, and he was right on his butt. They ended up taking the entire tournament, and that was in Las Vegas for the All-Americans.
It was actually the national tournament for sevens, but they had the international sevens was also in Vegas at the same time.
Right.
So it was really kind of cool because they actually got to go watch the sevens play, the international sevens play, and they were just mystified. They're like, how do guys that are 6'6" run that fast?
Right.
Exactly right.
The cool story about that is that he was picked to be on the Olympic team, and they were going to play at that tournament. And at the last second, him and his entire team were removed from the team, and they picked a whole another set of team to play.
Yeah.
And they lost their ass. And so AJ, our son, played for his original team, and they won every single game in the
Yeah, they won.
It's
the 16 and under division. They won.
Kick us off the Olympic team.
So it was cool. But like any parent, we just love watching them play.
Right.
Oh, exactly. Right. Any proud parent loves watching their kids excel in their sports and whatnot. If they you say you like watching rugby league, there is a big game coming up in 3 days on in Australia. If you can watch it on your dish, it's the State of Origin. It's between New South Wales and Queensland. It is actually the best of the best. Like in Australia, our State of Origin is tougher than like the Aussies playing the Kiwis or Aussies playing any other country, because in the New South Wales Blues and the Queensland Reds and Maroons, they're actually playing in history that you're actually playing in the State of Origin to get in the Australian side. But it's been going since 1980. It's a big rivalry, like state versus state, and they got the best players in there and big hits, good players, lots of skill. If you get a chance to sort of stream it, I think on Wednesday, so it'd be probably Tuesday night for you guys, or Tuesday. Yeah. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock at night here, so whatever the time it will be there. But that'd be a good one to watch because it's a decider. It's a best of 3 matches. Queensland won the first one, New South Wales won the second one, and now whoever wins this one takes out the for the year, and then we do it all again next year. But if you ever get a chance to watch any highlights of State of Origin, and you'll see how tough it is. Like that's great football because they pick the best of the best to play, and it's awesome to watch. And it's on a Wednesday night here all the time, except last week they had it on the weekend. But next year they're taking it back to Wednesdays because that's how it's always been. And you get home from work, start the fire, turn the telly on, cook a feed, and then a few beers, watch the footy, you go to bed, and then back to work the next morning, hung over to shit. But that's what we do.
Well, and I'll tell you, watching the games, from over in Europe and in different places, especially when what is the big is it the Seven Nations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get it, baby?
And when you watch it on the on the TV and you see the stadiums, it's just unbelievable. I mean, some of those stadiums are 100,000 people and they're screaming the whole time. It's pretty wild.
It is. It's awesome when you're watching it live because you're on the try line and you're hurling abuse at the players and the ref and all that stuff like you do. And then like the Cronulla Sharks, like their stadium's not one of the biggest. Like I think the maxed out they can get 16,000 in there. And we watched the second round open. It was our first home game in 2 years because they were doing the stadium. So in 2 years we had to play at a neighbouring oval. And the second round they come back and they had 11,000 this day. And we kicked the winning goal on the bell, and the noise, because it's sort of set up buildings all around and it just echoes and magnifies the whole sound. Like it was only 11,000, but it sounded like 30. It was just it was so awesome, and that's what it's going to be like from now on, going down there to watch a game. It's so awesome when it magnifies the sound and you're right there watching it, and like I said, hell and abuse and spilling beer and all that type of stuff.
Well, and that's the cool thing about the smaller stadiums is you're in closer. Instead of being way the heck up there, you can be in closer to the action.
Mm-hmm. We had a local baseball team in Sacramento called the River Cats, and it was such a small club. It's a farm team,
minor league baseball, not major,
but the tickets were super cheap, and you could be like 4 seats from the back of the home base. That was really cool.
Yeah, baseball is one of those sports I'm loath to watch it on TV because it's kind of a slow game.
You see the next question.
But I love watching it.
That's the next one.
Amazing.
But I'm the same. I played baseball. I was in Canberra when the kids were growing up, and I seen this baseball team training on the oval, and I went over and I said, "How do I get into this? How do I learn to play baseball?" I was 25, and then I played obviously till probably 4 or 5 years ago because there's no comp here in a small town. We had 4 teams, and it eventually folded. But in Canberra, like being the capital city of Australia, that's where I learned to play baseball at 25. Couldn't hit the side of a barn, and I enjoyed it. I ended up played D grade, C grade, bench B grade, and then I went to country up here and played in the B grade and all that as well, and like reasonably competitive, but nothing outstanding. But like I said, it's an enjoyable game to play if you know the steals, the moves, the signs, and the whole ins and outs of the whole baseball game. Like you said, to watch it on telly. The batter comes up, swings the ball, they catch it, they throw up the base. It's not very entertaining unless you know the whole ins and outs of it.
It loses a lot in the television translation. When you're there live, it's amazing.
Right.
I love watching.
And you can't hear the sledging from the dugouts either. So,
right,
that's the best part of it. All right, I seen you laughing there a minute ago. This is
I can answer that one first.
The next question is a beauty. Okay.
Yeah.
What celebrity does it for you? One you wouldn't kick out of bed. Who's your favorite celeb?
Oh man, I'll probably get in trouble for this one, but nothing to do with her politics. But Angelina Jolie.
Oh, I don't blame you. Okay, that's my answer too. Actually, mine would probably be if we rolled back the big
Yeah.
time clock, Clint Eastwood. Not now, because he's like 90
Well, he's
something.
90. She's 90.
when he was trimmed.
But you know, when he was younger, when he was Dirty Harry. Okay.
When he was fit. That's it. And even the old movie, the old Any Which Way But Loose.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Right
Yeah.
Turn Forward. Yeah.
His foray into comedy. There was a couple of them along that line.
Goddamn bag of Oreos, you know. That old duck was a crack up. Crapping all over the place.
Any which way you can, any which way but loose. And
Right.
I thought there was a third.
Maybe a third one.
Didn't he have his actress wife
Yeah,
playing in
Yeah,
it too?
she was in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was not that good of an actress. But she's married to Clint Eastwood, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And Andy, you not gonna bring up the celeb?
Oh no, Angelina Jolie is mine.
Is it?
100%.
Yeah. That's the way.
I
Well,
did not
mine
know
was
that.
Mrs. Smitty. She likes she's Thor. Her and her girlfriends had a game one time and ended up being like Thor, whatever his name is. Ended up
Oh
being,
yeah.
that's your husband type of thing. So Thor's one for her, and mine. I like Sandra Bullock and the Mexican chick that was in Dust Till Dawn. I can never Thelma. I can never remember her name. So she's one of the
I don't think it's Uma Thurman. He's Mexican.
that Mexican chickie. I found out she's only 3 years older than me, so there still might be a chance. But anyway.
Oh.
All right, the next one. What's your poison? Beer, spirits, cider, and
These
favorite.
days it's beer. It
Yeah.
used to be tequila.
Yeah.
But the hangover thing is super easy. Either a cheeseburger or bacon and eggs.
Yeah. Bacon and eggs is
What
a
is-
winner for sure.
What Clicky, what is hey yak?
I don't know what
Hey, yeah.
that is. A Russian or what is it? Turkish?
Turkish.
Turkish soaps.
I think it might be a
My
typo.
hangover break. It used to be tacos. We used to go
Oh,
and get
yeah.
tacos late, like 2:00 in the morning, and we'd go eat a whole
Oh,
slew of
Selma
tacos.
Hayek.
Selma Hayek. Oh yeah,
That's
Selma
it.
Hayek's cute.
Oh,
That's her.
you're so
Yeah.
smart.
She's cute.
Yeah, Matt backs me up. He knows he's a regular on my lives, and
Baseball.
he knows I always forget a name, and he always say a name in the name in the comments.
I like baseball a lot if it's live. I don't like watching it on TV.
Yeah,
My
Matt
first
actually.
team to go to was the Oakland A's.
Yeah,
That was fun.
Matt actually played baseball in Sydney too, down in the Big Smoke. So that's it. The Mexican chick, Smitty was. Yep.
The Mexican chick.
That's it.
Oh, that's Selma Hayek.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chica.
Pretty sure Selma Hayek's not Mexican though. I think she's what is she? Romanian or something? She's cute though.
She's
Very
really
good.
cute.
She's damn
Very
cute.
good. Yeah, I always liked her. And then hangover brekkie, you can't beat the bacon and egg roll here in Australia. A bacon roll. You get a bacon roll with barbecue sauce on it, and sit in the gutter and eat that while they're making another one. So we used to do on the night home from a big night out.
Oh, that
Yeah.
one right there.
Oh.
That one's easy for me.
Yeah.
I know that one.
This,
Well, there's two actually.
my last two lives, I had Chewy on and Ice Spike, and they said, "You want to add another question?" And this is it: what drink you've had and swear never to touch again?
100% Mexican.
Is she? Okay, Clay. I won't doubt you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
won't doubt you, sweetie.
She's gonna get all Trinidadian
Yeah,
on
she
you.
will. She'll give me she'll get that finger going in my face, and I'll never think of it. Clay or Daryl will be able to laugh his butt off. It's you, not me, in trouble. Um,
Blue
what?
Hawaiians for
Two.
you.
There's two actually. The first that came was screwdrivers, because a buddy of mine and I shared a half a gallon of vodka, and back when we weren't supposed to, when you're not supposed to do it anywhere, but we traveled around town and went to places and bought orange juice to go with the half gallon of vodka. So screwdrivers, no bueno. And then the second one came in college. There was we used to go to happy hour, so the food was free and the drinks were cheap.
Fireside?
Huh?
With the place was that
No,
Fireside?
it was anybody that had, it was any bar in the general area of the college that had happy hour and had good food. So we'd go eat for free, but they had it was blue night, so it was Blue Hawaiians, which is
Blue Caraco,
pineapple juice or
and
Caraca, and I don't even remember what the alcohol was. It was something clear. It's probably vodka, or whatever. And
what is your issue?
Bossy's over here whining at us now because he thinks it's dinner time and it's not. But
he's pretty close.
He's getting close. So yeah, those two. Anytime you've had that bad of a night, you swear that drink.
So mine is Bacardi 151.
Yeah.
That one was, when you drink it out of the bottle, you end up doing snow angels in the playground sand.
Yeah.
I will never drink Bacardi 151 ever again.
Mine would be Black Russians, because we had a big bender one weekend. I drove into Ulladulla because when I did my apprenticeship in Sydney, it's 3 hours north, and Ulladulla's 3 hours south of Sydney. And I'd go home on the weekends doing my apprenticeship, and I got home, rolled up, and all the boys are at the Marlin. You go driving to town, you come to the pub, they're all up on the veranda, so you park your car. Went in, we had 15 rounds of beer, and then we went into the Black Russians and Dirty Mothers, and it was a big night. And by the end of the night, I couldn't see the end of the 3/4 size pool table, and went home and just held my guts up because I had too much. But it was a good night. I had to go get the car on the Sunday because I couldn't drive it all weekend.
What's the old saying? Beer before liquor, never sicker.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, that is actually one of my favorite drinks. I haven't had regular alcohol in a long time, but Black Russians were one of my favorites growing up.
Really? Didn't you just do a shot?
I did do a shot. I did do a shot last week in Billings. Yeah, I did one shot. I've done 2 shots in the last year. One with my son for his 21st birthday, and one with a total stranger for no real good reason. I don't know why.
Exactly. I'd probably have it again because it's been a while. That was a while.
Hi, Wind. I
Yeah,
can't
she's
wait to see
funny.
you.
Hey. Yeah, she's been waiting for this life for a long time. She's awesome. Have to get her on one time too. Just have to hit me up. But yeah, like I said, I haven't had it since then.
Right? They tend to ruin you.
Yeah, I reckon if I have another crack at it, I might do damage.
I still love tequila. My body can't handle hangovers.
Yeah.
Beer.
I think it's the aging thing we were talking about earlier, the creaks and the cracks. As we get
100%. I mean, think about it. You used to get hungover, go out and either run or go work out or do whatever, which is really dumb to do because you're dehydrated to begin with. But we used to do it anyway. Yeah. And now it's like 2 days later, you're going, holy, this is only supposed to last like a couple hours in the morning, not 3 days.
Yeah, not 2 days. Yeah. You go out on the Friday night and then it takes you till Sunday and getting back to work on the Monday to get over.
Yeah, your weekend shot.
So that's a really long question, Smitty.
Yeah. I'll explain it, guys. This you're going out in the town to your favorite pub.
So what does
he's stuck.
Hook-ins, like you're going out on a bender. You're going out to have a good
bender.
night.
Okay.
Yeah. You get to take 4 people with you of your choice, past, present, or past or present, an actor, family member, singer band and are your choice. Like for people you want to have a great night with, past or present.
Okay. Well, I have to say Daryl and Clay, because
Yeah.
Clay, she's an angel, and she keeps us kind of grounded a little bit. And Daryl, because he's funnier than crap when he has a couple beers, his Southern accent, believe it or not, gets stronger. And he's a funny mofo. And of course, Andy. So that's 3. And then an actor
For a singer band.
or a singer band. Oh my gosh.
Sort of an example, like myself, I'd probably get Amy Winehouse. And then I'd probably get James Belushi. Yeah, and then my someone who passed. It would be my cousin. He passed away in when he was 24 years ago in the
That's a good
90s.
one.
So it'd be good to have a drink with him again, or my brother-in-law, the same thing. And the pub would be probably the Marlin again down in Ulladulla. So that's sort of my big bend the day out, and it'd be awesome to get James Belushi up there on the on the band with the harmonica and Amy Winehouse backing him up, and that's sort of the night I'd like to have. That'd be a good one. I'd definitely have a headache the next day.
I have one more, don't I?
No, you overstayed your welcome. You brought 2 right off the bat. you got a bus going right now. Nobody's fitting in the car. You got a tour bus going.
Yeah.
At this point.
Well, we're taking Daryl's rig because it's shinier than ours. It's like the rock star bus.
Rockstar, I think.
I think the bar that I would go to would be the Office in Cabo.
Ooh,
Because
good choice.
you get to sit in chairs and tables in the sand, and the ocean comes up and washes over your feet.
Oh yeah, and they put these blankets
And
around
they
your
give you,
shoulder.
they give you blankets to put on you, whatever, and you can actually extend the night because you can get food too. So
Yes.
you can really go way into the night if you want. But
That
that would be fun.
Sounds good.
And I'd have to have a tour bus too, because this one would have to come with me for sure. Family member, I would have to bring my sister Amy, and then of course she comes with her husband, so that's another one. Who do I think would be just? I think Adam Sandler would be freaking hilarious.
Oh,
I think Adam
good
Sandler
too.
would be funny to hang out with.
He'd
I
be
think
a crack
he'd
up.
be hilarious. And then what was the other one?
Past or present. Actor or family member.
Actor or a singer or band. Sammy Hagar, because I'm in Mexico already. So I'm going to ask Sammy Hagar to come over from his joint.
And then after the
in
Office,
Cabo,
we could go to.
and then we can go back. We can bounce over to his place,
right,
Cabo Wabo, and the party goes on until 3 days later.
I think that sounds like a great weekend.
Sounds like a good headache, that one. Nah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that question because you can bring anyone into it. And yeah.
Where is he?
Next one's
Somebody's popping.
tattoo question. Yeah, what's your first tattoo? Tell us a story about getting your tat. Favorite type, black and grey. And if you haven't got one, what made you not get any?
Okay, so my first is a squared A because his name is Andy.
A squared.
With a little tiny 2 above it. And my
Yeah.
son is Andy Jr. And so that's where the squared A comes from. And it's color. It's not black or gray. And my second one is this one here. And that's pretty much it.
Go like that so they can see it. Other way.
That's right. I remember when you got it freshened up. I watched that episode
Yes,
where you
189.
Yeah.
So that is his badge number,
Mhm.
and it's black and blue.
Yeah.
And this one here.
Don't have any tattoos. And what made me not get any tattoos? All right, so thank God this is not a G or not G rated TV show, but
No.
or live thing. But honestly, what really made me not get any tattoos is when I was a deputy. We were deputy coroners, so we had to go to people that passed away,
Yeah.
and a lot of them were elderly, and it's part of their life, and
Mhm.
I'm telling you, tattoos don't age well on a lot of people, and I'm one of those people. I get sunburned and stuff. I don't know. I just decided I haven't found anything in my life yet. I won't say I never will, but I still haven't found anything yet that's worth throwing some ink on my body for.
Yeah.
It doesn't disparage.
It's okay. I still love you, though.
It doesn't, I have no disparagement for people that get tattoos, but
That's like
because my son has already gotten how many?
4.
4, and
Yeah.
he
All in one sitting.
He picked things that meant something to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They happen to
exactly.
involve us, but
Right.
Yeah.
He's a big softie.
he is.
His is each of our signatures, and below our signature are birth dates. Not dates, but our birth year.
Yeah.
And so I told him,
It's pretty
don't
sweet.
ever write my whole name or her whole name on your body, because when you're at the beach, people will steal our identities.
Well, actually, I got Mrs. Smitty's name tattooed on me on my thumb, and she goes, "You only got that on there so you know how to spell it." I said, "Yep."
You can remember.
Yeah, they go, just it's asked for her. But yeah, no, I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm the only one with tattoos. Like my brothers, they're 8 and 11 years older than me. Gary spoke about getting tattoos, but he never sort of went past the point of no return. But I remember when I first got mine, you're sitting there, you got the stencil on your back, and then the chick goes, bzz, and you go, fuck, there you go. It's happened. I'm doing it,
We don't want to get halfway through and go, no, I'm done. And it says, whatever.
It was funny too, because the stencil I wanted, I walked in there, pleased to see this tattoo that I'm going to get. And it was just a stencil. He goes, well, that's it. And I'm going, okay. Righto, let's do this. And then she was an artist, and she filled it all in, and it was all freehand. But then when, thank Christ for that, it's all right. But yeah, I actually sat there and I was like, you're sitting there, and as soon as you hear the buzz of the gun and you feel it, it's like, oh, fuck, point of no return. There you go. I'm getting it. Yep. Sorry, Mum and Dad. Because my oldies I had to hide mine for a good, for ages. And then I got an ankle band around my ankle, and then it took ages to get the courage up to show the oldies that I got a tattoo around the ankle. When they found out I had a tattoo, as we were out shooting, camping and fishing, like out shooting pigs, and we're getting little bush ticks on us, and you had to check each other and make sure we had no ticks on us. And my brother's lifted my shirt up and goes, "Oh, you're tattooed, you bastard!" So it's all interesting stories. Once you got one and you're trying to hide it and respect your parents, it's like, okay, yep, I'm the black sheep. So that's sort of my story.
Our son was he was open with us about getting them, but he wanted one at like 16, and I said, nope. When you're turning 18, you can get whatever you want, but you gotta wait.
Yeah, so he had to wait until he was 18.
And that's the best advice too. I did that with my boys. Like I got two boys, and they're 25 and 24 now. But at growing up, I said to them, just promise us one thing. Like when you drink, obviously you can't drink till you're 18. You can have a few beers at home and whatnot prior to that, but the legal age is 18, and you can do what you want. And tattoos, I said, please, like it's just through experience, like 21. After you're 21, you want tattoos. You still want tattoos after you're 21. You can get whatever you want, but don't do it when you're 18, 16 or whatever. Wait till you get to 21 and 22. If you want to get a tattoo and you still want to do it, then do it. And my youngest fella goes, yeah, good. He wanted to he's into Angels and Airwaves, which is a band, Blink 182 and all that. And he wanted to get a whole Atmosphere solar system tattooed on his back. back at the start. He still haven't got it. Like, he's 24. They're all clean skin. They haven't got tattoos, and it's the best advice you can give your kids. And if they stick to it, not saying they all do, but it actually helps out. Because I said to them, once you're 20, 22, 21, you actually really know what you want to get. And like I said, I got my first one when I was 23. So, and I've been wanting to get tattoos. Hell, I was one of those kids that had the chewing gum wrappers with the tattoos in it. And I had them all stuck up my arm like Popeye. That's what I was like as a kid growing up before I was 10 years old. So I'm glad I held off too, because all my tattoos have got meanings and all that as well. But yeah, I
think for me, for tattoos that I get, it has to mean something to me.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's got to have meaning to wanting a tattoo. Yeah. And this probably just smooths on into the next question. Actually, it's we just sort of touched on it then. Advice on life. What advice would you give the 15-year-old you if you met each?
Pretty simple. Don't be an asshole.
Don't be a dumbass. You're not as smart as you think you are, you idiot.
Yeah, I am. Kid, right? You definitely are not as smart as you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one would just be slow down. You know?
That was mine. Slow down and enjoy life.
Slow down and enjoy life, and
so fast.
And like with the tattoo thing, slow down and take your time figuring it out, because even my kid's 21 and he still feels like he's like rushing on some things because he feels like he's missing out. And you're not. And what you don't know when you're 15 is that, one, you're not invincible. Two, you might make decisions that last the whole rest of your life, and you don't want to deal with that. So you just got to slow down and sort of and enjoy the heck out of it, because
it goes by, and
it goes by quicker than you think.
Right. He just turned 60, and I'm turning 55 in November, and boy, it would be lovely to be 15 again.
I see. Yeah.
And actually be as smart as I thought I was.
Yeah, exactly right. And mine would be just trust yourself and don't be so negative. Or if you're going to have a go at it, because you all learn by your mistakes. But then, like I said, you're not as smart as you think you are, and you only learn by your mistakes, but make sure they're not too big that you can't come back from them. So it's something along those lines.
Right.
I'd say. Exactly right.
Yeah, no, you're right. You have to make mistakes. I mean, that's how we all learn. But sometimes you hit those crossroads decisions where you make that decision, usually in haste or under alcohol influence or some other thing. And it can alter your life for the rest of your life. And what I try to explain to my son is that all kids think they're smarter than their parents, which may in fact be true. But I said, you don't have anywhere near the experience we do with life and all the things that can happen. So you might be smarter than us, but we have way more experience than you do. And sometimes that counts more than the actual, smarts you have in your head.
Exactly right. It's like my young fellow, like I was just talking, Tyler. He's witty. He's witty as he's one of those kids that can read something, the blueprints in his head, like studying. You just read it and look at it, and it's in his head. Me, I'm hopeless. I never studied in my life. I just dyslexia kicks in, and I go, geez, how do I read that? If you got a question that's got three meanings to it, I'm up shit creek without a paddle. I just don't know what to do. So, yeah, it's pretty much in that way. It's like you gotta. It's just learn by your mistakes, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Righto. We're up to the last.
Yeah, and we made a lot, I'm sure,
Yeah, definitely. We've been around the traps, as they say. Okay, it's the last question. We made it, guys, and it's It's coming. 13. Final question. Future plans for your channel this year, and what should we keep an eye out for? And what's the number one thing on your bucket list?
So we have a big year. This couple months here in Sturgis, we're having, of course, the Sturgis Rally. 2 days after the Sturgis Rally is the Blue Ride that we host. And then, and also during that, on the opening day, which is really cool, is we will be meeting the Badgers and at the Chip for the opening parade at the Buffalo Chip for the opening ceremony. So that's really cool. And then after we leave here in September 1st, we move to Colorado for the Four Corners. And there's some killer rides there. As Daryl would say, the Valley of the Gods, which I probably screwed that up, but he does it so much better than I do. But some killer rides there. And then we go to Oklahoma for the Stubborn American Rally, and then to Galveston for the Lone Star Rally. And then after that, we go to Florida for Daytona. But the second part of that, the bucket list, is getting out to Key West. I'm hoping one of us will drive the RV, so one of us could ride the motorcycle from the main part of Florida out to the Keys.
Let me let you guess who might drive the RV.
Yeah, well, it's not the dog. The dog's piled, so
It's not. He's been trying. He doesn't have any thumbs. If he had thumbs, he probably could do it. He's smarter than I am, so he could probably get it done. Well, in bucket list, that's been on my bucket list for a long time. When did we go to Key West the first time on the cruise? We were on a cruise and we stopped in Key West.
2003.
2000 and a billion years ago.
So by the time we get there, it will be 20 years.
So we've always wanted to come back because we were on a cruise. So literally, you go in, you get to go into town, and then you come back on the boat. So we got the basic experience. I don't know, 5 bars.
Right, exactly.
It was we partied up while we were there, but we always said, I'd love to come back. The only thing that's different here, and this may portend the future maybe, but is that we wanted to come back to Key West in our own boat.
Right.
But we don't have one of those currently right now, so it's gonna have to be in an RV on bikes.
Yeah, that's it. But awesome. We've got Wind Therapy, Tulsa Life, Harley Soldiers has popped in. These are good vloggers. If you haven't checked their channel out, it's very good cinematic photography and Harley rides and everything. I think they're down Victoria way at the moment. They're from the Central Coast. But that's it, guys. Thanks very much for joining us. Everyone in the chat. Hope you
what's the hey, enough with the Cronulla jacket?
Yeah, that's the hoodie I got on. It's the Cronulla jersey.
He's bitching at you for your sports
jacket. There's a bit of history behind it because Roger goes for Manly, and they're the northern beaches of Sydney, and Cronulla's the southern beaches of Sydney. And whenever the two teams played together, they've won more grand finals than we have. We won our first one in 2016, but we've played in a few grand finals together, and it's always been battle of the beaches, like northern beaches and the southern beaches. And
Cronulla
sucks.
Here we go.
Yeah, pretty much like Manly sucks too, So that's why they're eagles. They can't touch the water. They fly around up in the sky.
Some things never change.
Doesn't
matter where you're from or where you're at.
Yeah, you always got to have sledging. That's a part of the game. So yeah, that's the story of that. And I've got a few hoodies and a few jerseys, and I've been wearing them on a few lives. So that's what that comment was all about.
Are you trying to steal the show?
Awesome. So that's it. You can go on your ride now. If nice and sunny out, and you can get some rides in.
Oh yeah.
It's still sunny here. It's
pretty warm.
And when you come to the Midwest, which this is part of, you just know that at some point in time during the day, it's either going to be cloudy, or it's going to rain, or it's going to be both, or it's going to be windy, or it's going to be sunny and hot, or all of that.
Yeah.
In one day.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were for our live last week on our way home. Oh, it wasn't that late. It was probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock. We both had to pull over and put rain jackets on because I didn't have mine. So I just put a sweatshirt on.
It started raining pretty good.
It was pouring. So.
All right. Well, Smitty, I now have that face and the name. I will, when she goes, "Hey, Smitty," I'll know
exactly right. And since we've done the questions all together, you know a bit more about each other. That's the whole reason I like doing the 13 questions, get to know the person behind their channel, and the interesting ones in there, and it shows you how they've been brought up and how they love living life, and we're still kicking and breathing. So it's all good. I hope you enjoyed it. And there's the boss behind you. Here he is.
Oh yeah, he's it's full on dinner time for him.
It's dinner time, so he's bugging mom.
That's why he's sitting near the kitchen.
He knows exactly what time it is, and it's dinner time.
My two staffies are the same. We'll be sitting there watching telly, and they'll sit there and whinge and look at you, and they'll sook, and yeah. We've got two staffies and a little Jack Russell, and they same thing. Like 6 o'clock onwards, they're just right in front of you. Come and feed me, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you for having us, Smitty.
Yeah, I'm glad, and I'm glad
it.
she got to get you guys got to get this together. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the whole timing of the different time zones.
Yeah, exactly.
I used all my fingers and my toes to figure out time frame.
Oh, exactly.
She started telling me 3 days ago when it was going to happen. Then yesterday reminded me about 5 times. Today, 6, 7 times, and then I was coming in to go get in the shower. And she's like, sit down. It's going to go. I could have totally taken a shower and come back, but nope, sit down. Don't go anywhere.
Well, you got to shower now before you go for a ride.
Right.
Well, it's been awesome talking to you, man. It's
same likewise. And like I said, we've been planning it for a while, and perseverance to try to get you on. And I knew it'd be a good chat, and that's why I kept in touch. And like I said, next up, Tolson Life, I just hit Clay up in the chat, and Daryl and Clay said they agree to do it. We just have to organise a time. So that's another one in the future. I'd love to get the Win Road Theory on. Anyone, like any main bloggers, just want to have a chat and have a crack at the questions. It's not a test. It's just to know people and get to know people and their channels. That's the whole reason why I do it. Like you see other lives, they'll hit you with questions.
Well, and it's fun. It's a fun way to do it too.
Yeah.
Because the other thing your questions are good because they make you go, what is that? What's that old thing? Things that make you go,
Yeah, exactly.
Arsenio Hall.
Because you're like,
you go,
geez, I don't know. I haven't thought about that in a long time. So.
And exactly right. Like, and you think, okay, we're going to have questions. I think it's just going to be about the one channel. And then you throw like the mischievous one in there and what you've done in your past and your favorite bands. And then it loops back again. What's the worst drink you don't want to touch again? And it's just, it's a good mix. I've been doing it for like just going on. It's just 18 months now type of thing, doing the lives. And I've kept the good questions that I've thought up. And I've done away with ones that have been pretty boring. So I've got to. That's probably it now. The questions I got there, like it's gets everyone to think, and we get to know the nitty gritty, and people have a laugh, and some people don't want to interrogate themselves, and
you get people to tell on themselves, like stealing their dad's truck.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And the one I did first up, it was Joy on a bike. She was great. She I didn't know how to do it. It was the first live I did. And with that question, her and her brother used to lay on the trampoline in the backyard with a BB gun and shoot the neighbour's corrugated tin shed. Without their parents knowing, and things like that. And then Rob throttled down under. He stole his old man's fucking Volkswagen and Beetle and took it for a drive, and I think he lost it and went through a barbed wire fence. And the only way he got found out is because he had a bit of a tear in the vinyl roof or something on the top. But he got it back into the garage and everything else, and it just shows you. Yeah, it's good. It just gets the nitty gritty and the fun stories out, and I'm glad you liked it and enjoyed it.
So your mates over here on the right are just going. They're going at it over here. This is gonna turn into the live chat version of brawl here pretty soon.
West Tigers keep very. West Tigers, they're sort of down the bottom end of the ladder at the moment. It's all happening. Football. Hey, football and sledging. If you didn't have football and that, it wouldn't be worth living. Okay, awesome, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you. You guys have a great night, or actually great morning. Enjoy your Saturday.
Yeah. See you guys.
All right, man. Take care.